The movie begins at the Justice League's Hall of Justice. The newest member of the League, Green Lantern Jessica Cruz, anxiously examines a suspicious activity in the control center when an alert goes off and causes her to panic. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Cyborg arrive to check and find the perturbed Jessica, worrying that she might have broken something. Superman tells her that the alarm is a trouble alert to inform the League if there is any trouble that needs their assistance. The screen flashes a news report from reporter Lois Lane about a villain wreaking havoc at a warehouse used for storing alien technology in Dread Lake. The villain is Lobo, an alien bounty hunter who seems to be looking for something. Aquaman appears on screen and decides to join in the fight, thinking that Dread Lake is a place surrounded by an actual lake. He entrusts Atlantis to his brother, Orm, who prefers to be called Ocean Master. Aquaman speeds off with his Aquajet, unaware of Orm's evil plan while he is away. He arrives at Dread Lake aboard Aquajet and collides with Lobo, bringing the villain into the air while praising himself. Lobo calls in his very own jet and chases Aquaman in the air. He launches a missile, bringing the Aquajet down where it explodes into pieces. Aquaman lands on the ground where he gets interviewed by Lois Lane. He assures Lois Lane that he can handle the situation with the help of his aqua friends. However, his echolocation is of no use as they are in the middle of a dried lake. Aquaman realizes that Dread Lake is a desert. Before he can react, Lobo grabs him with a chain and continuously slams him down to the ground. As Aquaman gets battered by Lobo and is stuck inside a cannon, the rest of the Justice League arrive with their famous slow-motion entrance. Lobo snatches Superman with his chains and knocks him into the air. The impact of Lobo's punch was felt by Superman, which makes the Justice League believe that Lobo is as strong as Superman. The League launches an all-out attack on Lobo, which sends him into the roof of one of the warehouses. There, he finds the artifact he was after, a blue glowing orb. Before the League can enter the warehouse, Lobo breaks the door and flees with the blue orb in his jet. Batman suggests they figure out why Lobo went to the warehouse, but the other League members cannot resist Aquaman's invitation to Atlantis for a feast to celebrate his anniversary as the King of the Seven Seas. Jessica conjures a submarine and gets a +5 Green Lantern points for creating an appropriate vehicle. After some time traveling the ocean, they reach the city of Atlantis, where the Atlanteans sing a welcome song for their king, Aquaman. Before they land at the palace, Batman gives the League members a spray he designed to help them breathe underwater. Aquaman then introduces everyone to his wife, Mira, who has the power to create anything in water called aquakinesis. She shows them an example of the things she can make, like a fish, a car, and a chair. Mira leads them to the throne room for a banquet of seaweed meals, which Cyborg, unfortunately, did not expect. Suddenly, they hear a noise coming from outside the palace. They hurry in to check and see Aquaman's brother, the Ocean Master, gathering all the citizens of Atlantis to dethrone Aquaman. Ocean Master tries to convince them that Aquaman is a useless king who doesn't deserve the throne of Atlantis. Aquaman and the others swim down to the crowd. With Ocean Master's command, a bizarre red light begins to engulf the city, corrupting the Atlanteans with rage and hate for Aquaman. The League members, along with Mira, get saved from the effects using Jessica's force field when the ring detects an increasing level of rage. Now that he has taken over the Atlanteans, Ocean Master reveals a scroll containing the Constitution, which states that only a pure-blood Atlantean is allowed to be king. Knowing that he is half human, Aquaman decides to relinquish the crown to his brother, which upsets Mira. She flees and leaves Aquaman behind. Now that he is the king, Ocean Master can now rule Atlantis the way he sees fit, starting by employing his royal advisor, Atrocitus, the leader of the Red Lantern Corps, who have the power to corrupt people's minds with rage. Atrocitus is the one responsible for the corrupting of the Atlanteans, and his first order as the royal advisor is to finish the Justice League. With Batman's Diversion Inc., they escape through the Royal Passage and arrive at a room where Aquaman shows them the Atlantean Gateway, a device that can open a portal leading to other water-based worlds. However, Aquaman doesn't know how to open a specific portal, but he does know how to activate the recently used portal. As the guards close in, the League members enter the portal. But due to being scared, Jessica gets left behind as the portal closes. She evades the guards before a water-conjured seashell grabs her from behind. The rest of the Justice League find themselves on another planet. There, they see the Red Lantern Corps, robots, and vehicles. Aquaman overhears them talking about an invasion, and they discover that Atrocitus is bringing the Red Lantern weapons to Earth in preparation for the invasion. Wonder Woman notices the blue orb Lobo stole, and figures out that it is powering the device. Superman tries to fly and fight the robots, but his powers are mysteriously gone. They fight off the robots, and Batman uses a robot mouse to distract the enemy Red Lantern Dex Star. They enter a room unaware that it is a furnace. The angry space dolphin activates the furnace, and its temperature begins to rise. Using Batman's parachute, they escape the furnace and discover that they are on a desert-like planet with a red sun, the reason for Superman being powerless. The League members then walk away from the factory to find any civilization. On their way, Aquaman starts to hallucinate due to the lack of water. Batman uses his smelling salt to bring Aquaman to normal. However, he becomes stiff as a log. They later discover that Aquaman seems to be drawn to something, and that is water. The League members follow the lead of Aquaman, who is still under the effects of the smelling salt. Meanwhile, in Atlantis, Jessica is saved by Mera using aquakinesis. However, as soon as Mera shows her the Red Lantern weapons assembled under the palace, Mera gets corrupted by rage and starts attacking Jessica, who later escapes by causing blocks to fall over Mera. She climbs aboard one of the Red Lantern robots and speeds off. Jessica lands on the surface where the first wave of the invasion begins. She helps Robin and Batgirl fend off the robots controlled by the corrupted Atlanteans, but more appear, including Mera. The corrupted Atlanteans then start to take over the surface in the lead of the enraged Mera. In the middle of the fight, the corrupted Atlanteans surround Batgirl, Robin, and Jessica. Suddenly, a Daily Planet helicopter appears hovering above them. It is Lois Lane broadcasting the battle live throughout the world. Upon hearing that the whole world is watching, Jessica begins to feel anxious and flies away, leaving Batgirl and Robin behind, who gets captured by the Atlanteans. When they arrive at the ridge, the League members find a place called the Watering Hole, which offers drinks for everyone in exchange for a decent price. There they learn that Atrocitus sucked up all the planet's waters, which explains its high price, and they realize that he might do the same to Earth. Later, Lobo enters the Watering Hole, and the League discovers that someone hired Lobo to steal the blue orb. When he cannot remember the name of his client, Batman says the name, Ocean Master, and Lobo confirms. He then asks the League the whereabouts of his friend, Fishy, who is now a corrupted dolphin working at the Red Lantern factory. In exchange for information about his friend, Lobo agrees to take Aquaman and the others to the Red Lantern factory. They sneak into the factory, but Lobo blows their cover when he calls for his friend. A fight ensues where the corrupted Fishy attacks Lobo. Due to the fight, the blue orb powering the entire factory falls off and starts to shut the portal. Dexter and Fishy escape through the portal while the Justice League is trapped in the factory. Lobo weeps from losing a dear friend. Aquaman convinces him to come with them and save Fishy, but Lobo immediately changes his demeanor. He refuses to go, saying that he will not beg for someone to come back, and speeds away aboard his jet. Aquaman proposes a plan, and the League members begin to work. After some time, Cyborg manages to fix the portal, and Aquaman presents their newly built vehicles. They return to Earth aboard their vehicles and confront the Ocean Master. Aquaman deals with Ocean Master while the rest fight Atrocitus and Dexter. Wonder Woman manages to defeat Dexter by feeding him off to a giant clam. The League members gather in front of Atrocitus, who has completed his rage battery with all the rage from the Atlanteans. Atrocitus conjures a giant version of himself who knocks the League members unconscious. Meanwhile, Aquaman tries to reason out with Ocean Master, asking him to stop his madness, but he won't listen. Aquaman gets distracted by his friends, which gives Ocean Master the chance to attack him. His ship blows off, and the unconscious Aquaman sinks along with the League. Atrocitus locks them inside a cage where they wake up to see Atrocitus's machine called the Submerged Limitless Underwater Rapid Pump. Using the machine, Atrocitus plans to drain the Earth's water and scatter it into space until the planet gets as dry as a desert. Ocean Master rages as he cannot believe he has been tricked and used. Atrocitus snatches his trident and locks him up with the Justice League. Meanwhile, Jessica flies away from the city trying to gather her thoughts and finds other superheroes that can help, but the ring shows her the footage of Robin and Batgirl being captured. Mustering up her courage, she returns to the city and fights Mera. With her Green Lantern's light, she reverts the Atlanteans and Mera back to normal. But there is no time to celebrate as the machine slowly drains Earth's waters. Back at Atlantis, Orm admits his fault and apologizes to his brother for not believing him. Aquaman says the same thing and regrets that he has failed the Justice League and the Atlanteans. The League members encourage him to gather his courage again. To escape, Aquaman calls the microscopic planktons, which take on the shape of the key to unlock the cage. Orm summons his trident and uses his power to protect them from the Red Lantern's light effects. They decide to split up. Aquaman and Orm will fight Atrocitus while the rest will help Batgirl, Robin, Jessica, and Mera destroy the machine. With the help of the Trident of Poseidon, which can only be wielded by the one true king, Aquaman defeats Atrocitus and destroys the Red Lantern power battery, the source of Atrocitus's powers. Without the Red Lantern power battery, the Atlanteans are now free from Atrocitus's control. However, the machine continues to drain the ocean at a tremendous speed. Aquaman needs to help the League members to destroy the machine. Orm volunteers to guard Atrocitus while Aquaman swims off to the surface. Aquaman and Mera apologize to each other. With his lead, Aquaman instructs the others to a concentrated attack. They manage to move the machine a bit, but their powers are still not enough. Lobo suddenly appears to assist them. Now with additional strength, they successfully destroy the machine. Superman flies into space to push the frozen water back to Earth where it restores the oceans. In Atlantis, Ocean Master apologizes for overthrowing Aquaman and returns the crown to its rightful ruler. The Atlanteans celebrate the return of their king, Aquaman, who promises to be the best king and hero he can be. Aquaman throws a party to celebrate their victory. Meanwhile, Lobo volunteers to hand over Atrocitus and Dexter to Oa to collect the bounty placed on their heads. He bids goodbye with a slight warning about meeting them again. He speeds off with Fishy away from Atlantis. Suddenly, Cyborg's alarm goes off and a screen appears showing Gorilla Grodd wreaking havoc. The movie ends as Aquaman gives Mera a warm embrace before they take off on another mission against evil.